Round two, let's get another video. Like I said, we were going to talk about the LMFX demo contest and the LMFX crystal ball contest. Those that want to actually be one of the top three, not the top 10. I was only top 10. I never got a chance to hit first, second, or third place. I accidentally got my wife's account to fourth place, but I mean, these guys can take it up to like 5, 10 million. I mean, the highest I ever got to was 5.5 million, but that one guy took it up to like 8.8 million. And when you start with $100,000, so I'm gonna jump into right away, especially for the demo. The demo contest is called the Learn and Earn contest, not the Ultimate Traders. I don't know when they plan on doing this, but I am no longer affiliated with them. I'm no longer using them as a broker. For those that keep asking, I'm no longer with them. I'm with LQDFX and JFX. With 1,000% gain, that person's made almost close to 1.1 million, starting with 100K. So you can definitely win $1,000 because it says right here, right? You guys want to know, right? First place 1,000, second place 500, third place 250. Initial virtual deposit is 100,000. And so with this, you get to see the winners every single month. Now they don't update the ranking board or the leaderboard on who's actually making the who's actually making the most gains every single day. So with this, it comes down to who the winner will be announced on the first. So in 10 days here, you have 10 days left, but realistically, you only have 20 to 21 trading days. Okay, I'm not counting Sundays because we can only count from Monday through Friday. Sunday doesn't really count anyways, because over there it's already Monday for them anyways. So from Monday through Friday on a given month, you have about 20 days to trade. 20 days, like a 24/5 session trade. So with this, you really have to focus and dive into, stacking on trades, multiplying your positions, and the other faster, I would say the most easiest way and the most fastest way would be, instead of stacking, is to do just 1,000 standard lot size position on one trade and let it ride on that swing trade. Unless you want to do 1,000 standards scalping. And we know that gold pays the most amount of money, but exotic pairs can pay a lot more if you know how to trade the exotic pairs. And so I'm not a fan of trading exotic pairs, but some of the US dollar based exotic pairs can pay you a lot of money as well. And so for me, when I was pretty much, you're just trying to flip the account because it comes down to the most gains anyways. So you get 100,000. This will build your confidence in flipping any account. And when I did this for 3 months straight from June, July, and August, also, also taken into the crystal ball contest, I'm gonna jump into that as well. Doing this for, I would say, if you do this for 3 months straight, you're gonna build your confidence in flipping an account, doing higher lot sizes, like standard lot sizes, and learn how to read the market better. Because when you're trying to flip an account, you're solely focused on just being an aggressive, high-risk trader. And you're going to learn the mistakes of trying to flip an account, especially when you want to take this demo account into $1 million, right? And you can earn up to $1,000 if you get it to first place. And so some of the guys actually, that were watching my videos last year about LMFX actually, hit one of the top 3 positions. And so you don't have to take this advice, but I recommend to actually, if you want to dive into flipping, look into this. You could take 100,000 to 1,000,000. You can definitely do it if you actually, stay focused, and, if you really dedicate into staring at the charts. That's what I did, especially for flipping this virtual money. And, you learn a lot. You learn a lot because you're stacking trades, you're looking at different positions, and you're trying to go all out. What I did is I would just keep swinging and keep swinging and stacking, swinging and stacking, swinging and stacking. The two S words, swinging, stacking. And I was let these trades ride all through the whole week because I'm trying to catch this weekly trend. And you're going to learn that when you catch a weekly trend or a daily trend and you stack like 10 lots, 20 lots, 40 lots, 50 lots, or even 100 lots, because you're building that equity up. That's the biggest thing when you're stacking. You need to build equity in order to stack more positions. Otherwise, when that retracements hit, you're going to get caught with the retracement, and then you don't know what to do. So it starts closing out your positions, the ones that are negative, the most negative. So with swinging and stacking, you got to catch the daily trend. The daily trend is going to create that weekly trend. But when the high impact news hits, you're going to be set because you had these positions set in the beginning of Sunday and Monday. So it's very important. If not, then do this. That you can do the 100 standards, 500 standards. You can also do a 1,000 standard lot, especially for 100,000, because they give you the full leverage. The full leverage is 1 to 1,000 on the premium account for LMFX. So based on the premium account, you get that full leverage of 1 to 1,000, and also you start from 100,000. You're basically playing like you have $1 million, probably more than $1 million, probably like a $10 million account. And so with that kind of leverage, you can really blow the account, or you can make the account 10 times whatever it is. And then so your goal is to get this account up to 1 million by every Friday. So by the first week of Friday, you should be either close to 1 million or at or a little bit above 1 million. Because even though this person only won with 1,000% gain, I seen higher. That one guy that won back in the summer, he had almost a 10,000% gain. So he took 100,000, right? 1,000% gain is 1 million. So a 10,000% gain, that's pretty much a $10 million account. There are guys out there that can really, take this contest to a whole new level. And so by looking at just this, just the month of May, this is just basic winnings. You want to take it to a whole new level, you should be making more than 1,000% per week on this 100K account. And that will drive you to be more aggressive, right? But to learn that being aggressive, that you have to discipline when can you be aggressive and how can you be aggressive at those different time frames of each session. Very important. Not every session is going to give you a lot of money. Not every session is going to make you a lot of money, but you're going to find those different time frames. And when I'm talking about time frames, I'm not talking about the 4-hour. I'm not talking about the daily, weekly, or monthly chart. I'm talking about within the first 2 hours of the session, within the first or within the last hours of the session, or or when the first hour of London kicks in, first hour of New York, first hour of Tokyo. Those are the best times to take a look into scalping. Not just demo account. I'm talking about like live trading. First hour of any session. Now, I'm not talking about Sydney. Sydney, I would not highly advise to get to Sydney because you have to wait till Tokyo, so the spreads are lower. But to dive into this, you get to build that mental capacity of focus. You get more, you stay committed into winning, and then you're gonna start finding your niche of style of trading. And if you really like to be high aggressive, take this account to 1 million every single week. Start with 100,000 on the first, right? start with 100,000 on the 1st of July, take it to 100,000. Not from payrolls on Friday. You can make decent amount of money with 1,000 standards on the new spike. So, or you can blow the account. Take it to 1 million, or if you want to take it to a whole new level, take it up to 2 million by Friday, and take it up to 1 million by next Friday, 1 million by next Friday, 1 million by next Friday. Like then your account will be at 4,000% gain if you start from 100,000 on the 1st, and on the 31st of July, you can still trade on the 31st of July because it doesn't end yet. And so with that, you get an extra day of trading. So with that, you have 4 million because you're breaking 1 million every single Friday. I'm just doing easy math here. When you break down the math of earnings and you break down the math of what's being calculated in the gains, then you can be like, okay, well, we know that this guy made a million, right? I would say almost 1.1 million to around there for his gains, starting at 100,000. So if he made almost 1.1 million to win first place, and you're making 1 million every single week, obviously you're already there of getting first place regardless. And you have to hit these numbers, because if you don't hit these numbers, then you're way behind if you try to play the catch-up game. I remember that when I first started out the demo contest, I just said, you know what? Well, I don't think it's about gains. I actually thought it was about consistency, right? Because I didn't really look into how you actually win first place. So I was like, cool, maybe just focus on being consistent. There is no demo contest that is focused on being consistent. It always comes down to the most gains. People want to see who can make the most amount with very little money. That's what it comes down to. If you can actually do that repeatedly, eventually you're going to be looked at. And so I'm not saying being looked at a bad way, but you want to be right. You want to be the number one, right? You want to be the king, right? You want to be the queen, or I'm speaking to some female traders here. And if you want to be the number one, right? You want to hit the highlight spot. You got to give it all you got, especially in this demo contest. Those that have been asking me a lot of questions about, like, oh yeah, when can I stack trades? When can I get what pair is the best pair to trade? It doesn't matter what pair you're trading, but we know gold pays the most. If you're not trading gold, then you're looking at the exotic pairs that's going to pay the most. But I don't trade exotics. I made a lot of money on trading USD/JPY, the dollar yen, and gold, because they both inverse back then, right? And so find the pair and find the other pair that's in the inverse correlation. If you're gonna trade Euro USD, right, then you're gonna trade USD Swiss franc. Those two are inverse a lot. And so, I mean, you're gonna find these pairs, and you're gonna find your niche of style of being a really high risk aggressive trader, where you're gonna be stacking and swinging for the whole week, right? You're stacking 10, 20 positions, 40, 50 lots on USD/JPY and gold, right? You're buying USD/JPY, and you're selling gold because dollar's going up, gold's going down, and the yen is being weak. I mean, you're gonna start finding this stuff. And so if you're not stacking and swinging, then you're scalping. And when you're scalping, you can do 1,000 standards. Just expect that 1,000 standards, you're losing $1,000 per micro pip quick. A lot quick. And $100,000, it's done. It can be done. You just got to be very precise on when you're going to get in and get out. And so you really have to dive into, especially if you want to win first place. Here, this is a given to win first place if I really truly if I really truly, was making more than 1,000% gain. And so and like I said, in the past, I've seen guys make 8 million, 10 million. The highest was 10 million. And so almost a 10,000% gain. That's crazy. This guy had 9,900 something percent gain. And so that is like breaking records. So when you see something, and when you see these pairs, or you're focusing on stacking, if you're not, you're focusing on the big lots, the big standard lots, like 100 standards, 500 standards, and 1,000 standards, you got to be mentally ready all times. And I took it very serious because I wanted to win first place. And so I didn't get a chance to win first place, but being fourth place, and but that was when I only hit 4 million. This guy hit 8 million. And so you get to see top traders coming in on this. I think I talked enough about the learn and earn contest. And like I said, even if you don't hit first place, I mean, with third place, you still get 250 in the account. And those that want to withdraw the money right away, you can't do it. You have to open. Yeah, here's the catch. I forgot to tell you guys. Here's the catch. When you do win the money, you have to open a non-trading bonus account with LMFX. Is because they're actually giving you their money, so you can't count their money as a bonus. And you can't use that money to gain another bonus because it's already a bonus given out anyways. So it's their credit towards you. You cannot withdraw that money until you trade, I forget how many positions, and also when you accumulate the amount of commission, not commissions, whatever the account balance is supposed to be, and then you can withdraw it. And so there is a catch for this, but it is cool if you can win first place. You can take 1,000 of their money, right, and then take 1,000 to 10,000, or take 1,000 to 5,000, right? And so that would be the most feasible way of looking at this. So there is a catch when you win the money. Just don't be asking them why you can't withdraw, because it's their money. It's their credit. So, and you have to open up a non-trading bonus. Those that have not done it, you should, especially if you're taking into this learn and earn contest. The next thing I'm going to hop into is their crystal ball contest. Oh wow, still 3 hours. I actually thought this thing was done. 3 hours. Hold on. Let me make a quick prediction here. GBP is at 131.6 right now. Usually, like, I like to make my predictions right away, but knowing what I know now, I like to make my predictions at the last minute. Why I say this is very crucial. The number one chart you should always look at is the weekly chart, not the daily, not the 4 hour, not the 1 hour, whatever. It's based on the weekly chart, because you should already know it's $1,000 every week, not every day, not every 4 hours. It's every week. The weekly chart. You have to look and identify in the weekly chart, right? Okay, so they're talking about the pound. I'm gonna give you a full snapshot on what exactly I do here. Those that want to take this crystal ball contest. When you get good at guessing price, you don't really need a bunch of indicators anymore. Let's talk about GBP here, right? Let's talk about GBP here. I know I had all this, but let's remove all this, right? Okay, so all I have is just the 9-day SMA. On the weekly chart, clearly GBP is on a massive downtrend for this weekly candle that just started on Sunday, pushing right back down pretty hard, right? Thursday, this week, Thursday, they got their Bank of England interest rate decision and the monetary policy, the vote hikes and all that stuff, right? There's like 6-7 high impact news Thursday morning. Yes, not a whole lot is going positive for the pound, right? But I expect good news for the pound. So if I'm going to buy the pound, right, and this weekly candle doesn't close until the end of Friday, right? What they're asking, right? What they're asking is you have to know the time difference. When they say, where's the time here? Yeah, 12 midday. It's GMT. It's whatever their time is, but I'm in Central Time. I know that by 4 in the morning, which is like 2 hours after London, because London opens 2 a.m. for me. All I know is that by 4 in the morning, they have these prices locked in. And then like by opening of New York sessions, like a little bit after New York sessions, then they announce the winners. So when they're talking about Monday at 12 midday, they're talking about Greenwich time, GMT time, whatever it is, for them. And so don't get confused and be like, well, they said 12 midday, so I'm guessing it's 12 Eastern time. You can't go off of any United States time. For those that are in the United States, it's their time. It's LMFX is from, crap, where are they from? Hang on, I'm just jumping into where they're from. They're from St. Vincent and Grenadines. So you have to understand, you have to understand that LMFX is not part of the United States, all right? Offshore broker. I don't think they're I don't even think they got their regulation number. Well, I actually got their regulation number before they didn't have it. So, well, I don't even know if that's an actual regulation number. So, most importantly, is that it's based on their time. And the only way I knew about it, because I stayed up on Monday morning all the way through London session, because I wanted to see when they actually had this. And by 4 in the morning, they released the new crystal ball contest. So instead of having the pound like this, by 4 in the morning, they'll have like the euro or USD JPY, but it's usually the pound and the euro back to back, and then all of a sudden like every third or fourth week, they'll throw in USD JPY. So they don't throw any other pairs. With the pound, right? You got 3.5 hours to make this decision, which is actually pretty cool. So after watching this video, my prediction, right? My prediction based on the weekly chart, because of course it's going to close, right? And when the new weekly chart starts, right, it either bounces back up or bounces back down, right? Since it's at 130.31.6, and I expect good news for the pound, right? My full prediction would be somewhere around the 132 price, somewhere around here. Because when Sunday hits, you got the new weekly candle that opens, right? With the new weekly candle opens, right? If this does push back down, then the next weekly candle for my projection would be a support candle pushing back up. And so that would be my full analysis prediction on where I'm going to shade in this candle for the next weekly candle. Okay? So you can't go by what's going to happen at the closing of Friday. Because if you go by the closing of Friday, the contest isn't done until midday their time, which is 4 in the morning, right? And it's still in London session. So anything can happen during London session. So the price wants to move, it'll move. But my prediction is where I'm seeing right now. It's at 131.6. Right, they're going to push it down even lower, but eventually they're going to spike it right back up for the BOE rate hike, and then it could probably go right back down for Friday, but eventually come right back close to 132. So if you want, you got to be precise on guessing these numbers. You can't just say 132. And the reason why I say you have to be precise is because if you just throw a full, or just a like how these guys were pretty more precise on USDJPY, you have to be precise. If you're not precise on numbers, then let's just say you guess 132.000 and someone else guessed 132.000. I seen it happen. You don't hit any of the top three. You don't hit the first, second, third place. You just become either fourth or fifth place because someone could guess 132.997, right? I mean, no, 131.997 or 130 or 132.001, and the actual price was like 132.025 or something, right? Obviously, you guessed 132.000, but the person that guessed 1 decimal point over than you, right? The micro pip that went over, that person can win. And so there, it is very, very, it goes on accuracy, on guessing where this price is going. And you have 3 hours and 26 minutes to make this decision. Like I said, I used to guess it right away, but I don't do that anymore. It's just easier. It's just more simpler and easier because we're on Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night Tokyo sessions. And they're going to close this out in 3 hours. So in 3 hours, right? In 3.5 hours, I'm at 12:30 a.m. That's why I said 4 a.m. In 3.5 hours, it'll be 4 a.m. my time. What does that tell me? That exactly at 4 a.m. on Monday morning, Central Time, those that are on Central Time, that means it would be 5 a.m. Eastern Time for those that live in New York and on the East Coast, right? You can get to see who the winners are. And they're going to have a new, I bet you it's going to be Euro USD on Monday. And they give you like I don't know, a day and a half to figure out the crystal ball contest. So I'm not saying that I'm going to like start guessing numbers for everybody, but this is this is just a simpler way of looking at price action, looking at the weekly chart, and start guessing and start filling out and shading these weekly candles for the next weekly candle, not for what's happening for this weekly candle, right? You already see what's going on with GBP USD, right? Closing in down, right? The bears are coming in, right? They're trying to push it even down even more. So you have to look at, okay, economic news for the week, political news for the week. The most important news for the pound is Thursday, okay? And then when the weekly candle closes on Friday, right? So you have to look at that as well. So you're going to be like, okay, well, it's going to probably come back down, closing at 131.5 or 131.4, but you're going to send it back up Thursday, and then probably might shoot back down for Friday. But ultimately, when the new weekly candle starts, like I said, for me, for the new weekly candle starting out, it will act as a support candle, not a bear candle. Can't act as a resistance candle going back down because this is already pushing down anyways. So can I be wrong? Yes, I can. But this is just the way I look at the analysis for the weekly chart and how I predict it for where to be the pound, where to be the euro, or for USD/JPY. And so like I said, I'm not going to predict every single week for everybody. That's just going to be way too much out of me from what I'm already doing already. So this should be plenty of information to dive into and make sure that when you look at the weekly chart, look at the economic calendar and how is it going to pertain to affect this weekly candle. Spiking down, spiking up, close on Friday. The new weekly candle is you gotta ask yourself, is the new weekly candle, not for this week, because we already have a new weekly candle, is the new weekly candle for next week on Sunday gonna act as a support candle or a resistance candle? If it's already bear, if the bears are pushing down, obviously the next candle is gonna try and be a support candle. If the bulls are pushing up, obviously the next weekly candle might end up being a bear candle. If you look at the weekly candle, or I'm not saying this is like 100% correct, but if you look at the weekly candle, you can see how the bulls push up. The next candle was a resistance candle going back down, right? This try to push back up and push right back down. And you can clearly see that they're bearish candle here, right? I mean, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong bearish downtrend. And it's still pushing down. Notice that I found support here, but then it just created doji. Came back down. There is no support. Came back down. Closed in. Came back up, but it's still going down. Notice that these candles are below the 10-day moving average. Eventually, it's going to find support and push right back up and cause a huge reversal, which is pretty important to pay attention to. So another way of looking at it, this is another tip. I know I'm going a little bit too far, but this is another tip. Anytime, especially on the daily, weekly, and monthly, but mostly on the weekly and monthly, anytime candles are so far apart from the moving average, they have to come back. They have to come back to the moving average. Okay, so I'm going to explain this one more time. Why I'm saying this. Anytime the candles are further apart from the moving average, eventually it's going to come back and try to break the moving average. So what I'm talking about is here, right? In here. Okay. Push outside. Look at how far. Look how far this candle and this candle here are apart from the moving average. Okay, same setup. These candles are so far apart, and the bears came back down, and then this candle touched it and went back up. This candle went back down, passed it, then this bull candle came back up, and then they pushed it back down again. Notice how there's a really similar pattern, right? Three candles, the three bear candles here, and so and also the three bear candles right here. I mean, you get to see like how much, how far apart are these candles away from the 10-day. And so I'm not saying that this is accurate, but you get to see like anytime it pulls so much away from the moving average, it has to come back to the moving average. Same thing with the Bollinger Bands, but the Bollinger Bands are they get confusing sometimes when they break out, and then they keep breaking out and they keep breaking out, right? And then you don't know when to sell and buy, because it just keeps breaking outside the band. But I'll have a video explaining that on part 2 for the Bollinger Bands. And so, yes, strong downtrend. Eventually, by the time it pushes out further away from this moving average, the next support candle is going to push right back close to the moving average, and it's going to try and test to break above the moving average, and then close above the moving average, and then push even higher against the moving average to cause an uptrend. And so I'm not saying this is like a good accurate reading of the moving average, but you can clearly see it's just easier just to base off of resistance and support on the weekly versus just trying to say, oh yeah, this candle is outside, really outside it's so far apart from the moving average that it's going to come back the way. But if you look for that indication, then eventually it's going to create resistance and fall back down. And eventually, when it goes down so much and far away from the moving average, it's going to create that support, come back up to the moving average. And so most of the time, candles are close to the moving average most of the time. And when they're not close to the moving average, eventually they're going to come back to the moving average. That's just one way of looking at it. So I feel like I went all the way too overboard on this, but you guys get the drift here, and you still have 3 hours to make that decision. So I'm not, like I said, I don't plan on doing crystal ball contests or demo or the learner contest with LMFX. I don't participate in that. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I'm just letting you know, like, how can you make your trading better if you want to take it to a whole new level. So appreciate you guys watching this, and like I said, feel free to comment the video. I'll try and comment as soon as I can. Thank you guys.